Now, Madam President, on one other short point I'd like to make, and it deals directly with negotiations going on right now on either a COVID-19 package that we're trying to put together, some people call it a stimulus package, or something that could be put in the omnibus appropriations bill. So this goes back to the CARE Act that we passed in March. Congress authorized the creation of a special inspector general for pandemic recovery to oversee the billions of dollars in the new federal spending. Hence, to make sure that those federal dollars were spent according to law. In the past, when Congress created a special inspector general to fill a sudden need in new government oversight, this Congress quickly followed with additional legislation to provide the IG's expedited hiring authority to staff their new offices and also to begin timely oversight operations. Such timely oversight operations is particularly needed now because so much of this CARES money appropriated in March has gone out the door. So in the tradition of past Congresses setting up other special IGs to fill a sudden need, I introduced S. 3751, a bipartisan piece of legislation modeled on past special IG expedited hiring authority language. My bill provides the IG a short 6-month window to quickly hire the staff he needs to build his organization and begin carrying out the oversight mandates by the Congress under the CARES Act. However, as of today, my bill still hasn't passed. IG Miller has been left to work with an office that is still highly understaffed. That's an outcome that should concern everyone here in the Senate if you're passionate about government oversight and making sure that money is spent responsibly. Whenever the government spends large sums of money, as we have in addressing this pandemic, there will always be bad actors somewheres out there lying in the wait to test the system, see how much they can steal. We need a fully staffed and fully functional IG in place to meet those bad actors head on, to serve as effective check, waste, fraud, and abuse. Despite broad support for my bill from both sides of the aisle, I've heard rumors that some of my colleagues across the aisle may be wary of granting expedite hiring authority to the IG simply because they don't agree with the personal politics of the individual confirmed for that position. This amounts to an attempt to nullify the IG's confirmation by limiting his ability to conduct oversight and hopefully to make sure that all the money that we're spending under all of these pandemic appropriations we've made is spent according to law, and hopefully that implies responsibly spending the money. Congress has always made the decision to establish this IG. Now we need to give the office the resources that it needs to succeed. Personal and political disagreements are not reasons to deny the American people oversight of how billions of their tax dollars are being spent. Once the IG hires staff and has the ability to begin the substantive oversight work mandated by Congress, there will, as always, be an important place for congressional oversight to ensure the IG is doing his job. I intend to conduct the same level of oversight of this IG that I have for others. I expect my colleagues will do the same. That's why I urge my colleagues, regardless of any personal differences that they have, to support this bipartisan legislation granting expedited hiring authority to the Special IG for Pandemic Recovery and include it in the forthcoming COVID legislation. Now, I've heard rumors within the last hour that there's already been a decision that they're not going to move ahead on this money for hiring to get this job. If that's true, I don't want anybody, whether it's Republican or Democrat, to ever complain about something that comes to light that the money wasn't spent the way it was intended to be spent, or it was wasted here or wasted there. Don't complain to me.